Hello, welcome back to Wogscapes. This is part 2 of me making a tree. Alright, so nothing too complicated here. Black primer and really dark brown around the base of the tree and the base of the base there. Next color is kind of a medium milk chocolate brown and just dry brushing over the whole thing. Focusing on the whole thing, right? Not just the highlights. Get into some of the shadows as well. Going for about 50% coverage. And the last color here is more like a light sandy tan. And once again, that goes over most everything. Focusing more now on the highlights and only going for about maybe a 25% coverage, right? So that's important, that you're not going too heavy with that highlight or not too light with it. And there we go. And the next step is I'm putting on these little elven tree stands. So I'm carving that into the to plaster itself and then sliding these little 3D printed pieces in. And to make sure I got them all level, I'm using a laser level. Oh, it's so pretty. Some PL Premium on there and slide them in. And it's really hard to clamp on something like that. So clamps and foam blocks and whatnot holding everything into place until it sets up. And then next underneath that there's these little arches, right, that's holding up the stands there. And again, elastics was the best thing I could do for that. So that's pretty basic. Next we're going to go on to flocking, right? So you can see on the base there, no you can't, you're looking at my flocking, right? You can see on the base there, it's just Elmer's glue all, PVA glue. I didn't water it down at all, I just smeared it on everything. And my first flocking I'm using there is not flocking, it's Italian herb mix from the grocery store. I love this for dried leaves and sticks and stuff that's going to be falling off underneath the tree, right? So that goes more or less in the little nooks and crannies, right? It can kind of go anywhere, but yeah, I'm focusing on the little crotches of the trees there in between the roots. The next one I've got here, it's just kind of a dirty mix. So when you're working with your flocking, and you can see I've got that piece of paper down there, and you're going to collect all the leftover stuff, just dump it into a bucket and have a dirty mix. And it's great to have for doing miniatures or if you just want some random stuff. So that's some coarse turf, that's some green mix, burnt grass, weeds, a whole bunch of stuff mixed in there, right? And once again, I'm just kind of trying to jam some of this into the little crotches where there's not going to be a lot of light and where I think water is going to be collecting, right? So I'm kind of thinking about where is it going to be mushy, soggy, right? Right. What's this? What do I got there? Green blend. Alright, so this is going to be the base color for the whole thing. Woodland Scenics green blend, fine turf. Right, so I just finished a forest table. It's got a river running through it. The base color of that thing is this green blend as well. So I'm using that here so that this tree can sit on that landscape and it looks like it's part of it, right? The greens match. So this is basically going everywhere. Where I put some of the other flocking, it's not going to stick, right? Little bits of it is going to fall through there. That's right. Fix the camera, man. I can't see what you're doing. But yeah, just basically going for full coverage over that. And once again, that glue just went on just solid without any water, without needing anything else on there. Later, you want to seal this down with more glue, and it's just going to be that same PVA glue and water, and it's about a 50-50 mix, maybe maybe a little more water than glue. So here we are, it's all covered up. Just dumping off the excess, and right, not too much falling off there. It's sticking very well. That's about what you want to see, right? A little tap and a little bit falls off there. If more than that is falling off, then your glue's not working. And that flock is basically like shredded foam sponge, right? So it sucks up that glue really nicely. Yeah, smack it. And once again, I like saving this stuff for dirty mix. Just a big mix of a whole bunch of garbage, right? In it goes. Save it for later. Yep, there it is. PVA glue, water. I said 50-50. Yeah, it might be more like 40-60, right? 40 glue, 60 water, just so it spritzes out of there nicely. And you can't see the flock bottle because it's out of the screen. The next is burnt grass. And I'm just going over top of some of these areas that I think are going to be a little drier, right? So again, trying to stay away from the little nooks and crannies and more in the larger open spaces. Mainly the reason for this is just to break it up, right? To give it a bit of texture so it's not just a solid flat green over the thing, right? You want some little dry patches, wet patches, some little bits of shrub and tall grass sticking up, right? So just getting some variation in there. And next, going back to that dirty mix again. And you can see on this tree, no you can't because it turned. Put it back. Put it back, hoser. There you go. These little nooks, right, where even the glue, when I spray it on there, is settling into these little nooks. That's right where water's going to be settling in there too, right, like rainwater. So I want to jam some of that in there to show like little moss or whatever. Not absolutely necessary, but I thought because those little nooks are close to the ground, they've got some shade, then yeah, you're going to get some moisture in there. Now once you're done with this, again, like I said, that PVA glue water mix, you're going to spray it over the whole thing again, and that's going to seal all of this down. Right, so that's going to be solid, and it's going to be table worthy, right? So you can put your miniatures on there, you can roll dice and huck dice at this, and it's fine. Oh, it's so pretty. Yeah, bam. And here we are. There's that forest table that I was talking about with the river, and you can see the bases blend nicely. Right on. Thanks for watching. Like, favorite, subscribe. Share me on Facebook. And if you have any questions about how I did something here, just put comments down there. I'll be happy to get back to you. Cheers.